Tangent of 195 degrees. 195 is not on the unit circle, but it ends in a 5. I'm going to subtract 45 from it. So 195 minus 45 is 150. Cool. Both of those are on the unit circle. I'm rolling. So we are going to find tangent of 45 degrees plus 150 degrees because that adds up to 195. And for me, just going to jot down the radians because I know everything based on radians. 150 degrees is in quadrant 2, and it is 5 pi over 6. Here we go. First of all, tangent is a fraction. And it's going to be the tan value of 45 degrees. I'll just write the template since we haven't really talked about it. The tangent value of 45 degrees plus the tangent value of 150 degrees. Underneath, it always starts with a number 1. And then it's always the opposite sign. So if I wrote a plus sign in the numerator, it's a minus sign in the denominator. And then it's going to be those two tangent values multiplied together. All right, here we go. So I'm going to plug in what I know. I know tangent of 45 degrees. What's tangent of 45 degrees? Thank you. It's going to be 1 plus. Another reason why I wrote radians, because I know tangent is based on radians. What is the tangent value of 5 pi over 6? Root 3 over 3. Yes, it is. But remember, it's in quadrant 2. So it is root 3 over 3, but it's going to be negative. So I'll just put it in parentheses because it is negative. And I'm just going to let that hang out for a little bit. Now let's work on the bottom. The bottom is going to be 1 minus, and then those two numbers are going to be multiplied together down here. Okay, so I've just plugged it in. I'm going to clean up the way it looks. Y'all, the numerator, when you add a negative, it's just subtraction. So the numerator, I'm going to put right here, it's going to be 1 minus root 3 over 3. There's the numerator. And then for the denominator, don't forget your order of operations. It's 1 times negative root 3. 1 times negative root 3 is negative root 3. I'm sorry, 1 times negative root 3 over 3 is negative root 3 over 3. And it's going to be 1 minus that. So 1 minus a negative turns into a plus. So the bottom is going to be 1 plus root 3 over 3. Okay, now it is time to simplify. Can we simplify anything? Nope. Can I cancel out those ones? No, because they're connected because of the plus and the minus. Also, what's really bothersome is you have a square root in the denominator. We're going to have to clean that up. But before I even clean up the square root in the denominator, we have to combine the numerator, then we have to combine the denominator. So, numerator. That 1 I can rewrite as this. That 1 is 3 over 3. So the numerator is going to turn into 3 minus root 3 over 3. There's the numerator. Let's look at the denominator. It's going to be 3 over 3 plus root 3 over 3. So the denominator is going to turn into 3 plus root 3 over 3. And now we're going to keep, change, flip. Here we go. Keep this first fraction on top exactly how it is. Change that division fraction bar to a multiplication. Flip that second fraction upside down. Not too much happens, but the 3's cancel out, so that's good. So this cancels, so does that. So this is going to turn into 3 minus root 3 over 3 plus root 3. That is the simplified ugly answer. Now we get to rationalize. And remember, when you rationalize and it's a binomial, remember something plus or something minus, you have to multiply by the conjugate. So we can't just multiply by root 3 over 3. That's if it's a single term. It's not a single term. You have two terms here. So we get to multiply by the conjugate. So we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3 minus root 3. Remember, the conjugate means it has the opposite sign in the middle. Okay. Remember, you're going to have to FOIL that because that's a binomial times a binomial, binomial times binomial. On the top, here's what the top turns into. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative root 3 is negative 3 root 3. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 3 root 3. Negative root 3 times negative root 3 is plus 3. Negative root 3 times negative root 3 is a positive 3. Sorry, I have a plus 3 right there. That's the two last terms being multiplied together. Now let's do the bottom. Actually, the bottom isn't so bad because it's like a difference of 2 squares. We're just going to multiply the two front numbers together, multiply the two back numbers together. The two front numbers together, 3 times 3, that's not bad, that's just 9. The two back numbers multiplied together, remember they're opposite signs. So a positive root 3 times a negative root 3 is minus 3. All right, let's clean up the top. Let's see what we get. So the 9 and the 3, those are just plain numbers. So the top is going to be 12 minus, now look, I can add those because they're like roots. So negative 3 root 3 minus 3 root 3 is negative 6 root 3. And what does the bottom turn into? Yes. And I am so happy. I'm so happy that it's a 6 because that means I get to keep going. So if you look at the top, there's a 12 minus 6 root 3. I can factor out a 6 out of the top. All right, so if I take a 6 out of 12, that's going to be 2. If I take a 6 out of that, that all goes away. That's going to be root 3. Let me just make sure I did that right. I'm going to mentally distribute to make sure it gets back to that, and it does. Remember that was over 6. What happens to the 6's? Here's your tangent value. Here's your tangent value of 195 degrees. Your tangent value is 2 minus root 3. Ooh, wrong way.